Hi guys, it's Jessie Holton here, your Stampin' Up demonstrator for Australia, jessieholton.com. Today I'm going to show you these really cute little Santa's belt buckle type Christmas cards that I'm throwing together. And I'm using the Here's to the Cheers stamp set and the matching framelits, which are really gorgeous little coordinating products. Now of course these tags are meant for wine bottles. I'll show you one that I've made here. There we go. Pop it on the wine bottle. Isn't that cute? The champagne bottle rather. So that's the tag behind, and that's the little detailed framelit that you get with it. So you can either use these together or use them separately. This red circle as well is the bit that is popped out from here. So I've just stamped on it and then used it to embellish the front. So that's the copper foil and copper thread, copper heat embossing, real red cardstock and real red ribbon. What's it called? The stitched edged ribbon from the holiday catalogue. So that's a little tag. So I mean that's what these framelits are designed for, but we're just going to use this section of it today to create this little belt buckle. So I'm going to throw together 6 of these. I'm going to use a sheet of the Fancy Frost Designer Series paper from the holiday catalogue, the copper foil and real red. So we'll whip those up. Now, first things first, we're going to get our mint macaron ink. And one of the big sponges. Now this is a really important process, is just preparing the foam before you actually use it on the cardstock. So you want to blot it out in your lid and then just rub it around to pick up that ink again. And the more you do this, so it is a little bit time consuming, only just the first bit because this is a brand new sponge, so I've just got to do it a few times to make sure that it's not got any little bits in there that are just, you know, like little inkwells, because that's going to leave a really dark mark on your cardstock and you don't want that. So then we're just going to very lightly rub this all over the cardstock. And, you know, don't be too heavy-handed with it because it's easy to ruin. And once you've gone too heavy with it, you can't take it back. And isn't this pattern, can you see this pattern coming up now? I don't know if there's enough detail showing on my video camera. But it's like a little snowflake design. And just by softly rubbing over the top, I'm hardly putting any pressure on this sponge at all. In fact, I'm just holding it on the sides, not on the top. So I'm literally just rubbing it across the top of the page. But by doing that, it picks up all of these little lumps and bumps from, because this particular designer series paper is like 3D embossed. And it is gorgeous. So I think we'll just do it once more. Just make sure that we've got this top section done. Now, because I'm going to use this whole sheet, I'm going to make 6 card fronts with it. So it's much easier to sponge this whole piece rather than just a bit at a time. Okay, I think that'll do because I don't want it too heavy. I just want it to highlight that beautiful pattern in there. And I don't know if you guys can see it. You see that pattern? It's really pretty, isn't it? So there's a whole bunch of patterns in this paper. There's some leaves and some dots and some stripes and some sort of stars. They kind of look a little bit like tiles, to me anyway. But this is my favourite, the snowflakes. Okay, now I'm going to go 14.5 centimetres. That is about almost very close to 5 3/4 inches. For those of you on Imperial, yes. I think we're metric here, aren't we? Anywho, for those of you on inches, okay, and then I'm going to go 10.1, which is very close to 4 inches. Now I'm doing these particular measurements because that's what suits our C6, which is an A4 sheet, cut in half and then folded in half. And that's what suits our measurements here in Australia. But if you're using American standard cardstock, which I think is letter rather than A4, you may need to adjust your measurements so that you have an even border around the outside of your card. So basically, this is going to leave about 1/4 inch, or an 1/8 of an inch rather, around the edge of my card. Actually, before I put that away, I've got some real red here and I'm going to cut that at 14.9. And then I'm going to use my scoreboard. I know that the trimmer has a scoring tool on it, but you know, I just prefer the score line that my scoreboard leaves, as opposed to what the trimmer does. Okay. and I like to have my valley on the outside and the ridge in the middle. So I prefer to do it. I find that you have the ridge on the outside, especially if you're using the thick Whisper White cardstock, sometimes it can crack. And that's particularly using the trimmer, the scoring tool on the trimmer, which is like why I like to use my actual scoreboard to make my cards with. But that's another story. Right, so what are we doing next? We're going to cut some ribbon and pop our little belt buckles on there. So I've already made 5. This is using the copper foil cardstock. You could use silver or gold if that's what you have. Glitter, the glitter paper, if you wanted to use that, that would look good. So I've cut this 7 centimetres by 6 inches. I don't know what that works out to. I'm a bit of an in-betweener. So 15 centimetres, 7 centimetres by 15 centimetres. And that is just so that I can fit 2 pieces onto each. I'm just going to cut one though because I've already cut my other 5. And I'm just going to line it up so that my cardstock is halfway between the little dots and this edge along here. Because that's where that little fold line, score line is. So because I'm only using that part, I don't want to waste cardstock by cutting that, because I would just throw that away otherwise. And you know, this copper cardstock is only $7 a pack, so it's not really too expensive. You get 2 12 by 12 inch sheets in there. It's pretty good value really. But waste not, want not, and see what I've got there is we've cut it off just below where the score line is, which is perfect. So I'll just pop that out. And then I'm going to use my, get rid of this first, shall we? Now you'll have to excuse my breathing. I know my breathing is getting heavier and heavier the further the date moves along. I am actually due to have our second baby in February. So I'm getting a little bit short of breath as my belly gets bigger. Okay, so I have got some burlap ribbon and some mint macaron sheer ribbon. And I'm just going to pop that through. Now on my sample card that I made here, I did actually just use some glue behind the back here to hold that ribbon in place, but it just feels a little loose to me. I don't like that. I like my ribbon held nice and tight. So I'm going to use staples on these ones. So you just want to make sure ribbon is nice and tight. Don't worry too much about this belt buckle for the meantime. As long as your ribbon is straight and tight, we can adjust the belt buckle later because it's not actually adhered. And I do like to just use two little staples together. I think if you use one, it looks like you're trying to hold something in place, but if you use two, it looks decorative. That's my thought process anyway. So that's good. I like that. I prefer that much better. Okay, and then we want a little bit of mint macaron. And I'm going to tie a little bow. Now, as you can see, my bow is upside down. And I am a perpetual upside down bow tire. So, I'll show you what to do. You hold the little bows up. Pull that one down on top. And hold the little strings down and you just give it a pull. And then just tighten it again. And you may need to adjust it a little bit, get it nice and even. That's pretty cute. And that is how you get your bow to go the right way around. And trim the ends. Okay. And then what we want to do is get a little bit of the red cardstock. And I've got the Cheers to a Sparkling Season, which I'm going to do in craft white. And I'm going to cut this in half first. So I can use that piece later, and I'll keep this piece for my stamping on. So I'm going to do this with the 2-inch circle punch. So I'm just going to make sure that I leave enough room in between each of the stamps. Now, this white craft ink is actually more like paint. So you do need to give it a minute to dry. So I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to quickly do my other card bases. So bear with me one moment while I get that done. And don't you think that this would look cute with black ribbon? I think that if you had some black ribbon to use with it, then it would look even more like Santa's belt. Now, of course, I wasn't actually going for Santa's belt when I first put these together. But, you know, sometimes when you're working with the finished product and it just pops into your mind that that's what it looks like. So, you know, roll with it. I'll do all my little bows afterwards. Run out of staples. Those staples are a bit big. I don't really like them as much, so I'm going to just quickly refill my little handheld stapler here. Now these are actually been discontinued, these handheld staplers. There's nothing wrong with the product. It was an issue that Stampin' Up had with the supplier. Well, not an issue really, it was just that the supplier could no longer supply them, which is a shame because they're a really great little stapler. So if you want one and you haven't got one yet, then you should act on that before they sell out, because they won't be replacing them. Well, not at the moment anyway. That's the news. That's what's going around on the grapevine. Now remember that these stamps, although some of them do refer to Christmas, you can use the washi tape technique or just use the ones that don't refer to Christmas on them, and they would be amazing all year round, because I know I love giving a good bottle of wine for a present. My father-in-law loves rum, so we often give him rum for his birthday and Christmas and Father's Day and that sort of thing. Rum and a Mars bar. That's the standard issue present for him. So I know that I will be getting plenty of use out of these tags in the coming months. They're not just for Christmas. And if you hurry and buy them before the end of December, then you can get them in a bundle in the, lost my bits of cardstock then. Yeah, you can get them in a bundle in the holiday catalogue. So they will be carrying on into the next, well, they won't be discontinued anyway, because they are mentioned in the occasions catalogue. So they won't be discontinued just yet, so, but they won't be available in a bundle anymore. So you'll still be able to get them, But if you buy them in the bundle, then you can save 10%. So it's well worth getting them now if there's something that you like. There we go. If there's something that you like, then it's well worth getting them now while they're still available in the bundle. Because that extra 10% could be a pack of embellishments or maybe some glue. Can't remember what the price of the bundle is, but I mean, you're probably talking a $10 saving, something like that, by getting them in the bundle. Oopsie daisies. What's going on with that little bow? There we go, that looks better. Oh. Maybe choosing a card to make with 2 bits of ribbon on it wasn't a great idea. Geez, that bow's not working for me either. You know, sometimes you just have to give up and move on. I don't want to be taking too long for you guys. You know, when you throw one card together and you think, oh yes, that was relatively easy, I'll make a few more of those. And then they take you forever. Okay, there's a couple more to go. Oh dear. I've put the ribbon through the wrong way on this one. That's alright, we'll get inventive. And I'll tie a little ribbon on the end here. And you know, I'm just gonna pop a little staple onto that one because I couldn't get that bow to tie tight around the burlap ribbon. Whoops. Oh, there goes my mint macaron.